He rode the Jetstar 2, and he rode with a male employee in Whizzer-like trains. That sounds awkward.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Bat, Bombora, Puff the Little Fire Dragon, the Wild Kingdom train, and he got a tiger to roar at him while he was waving, so I guess the tiger knows him. He rode the Wild Mouse, Spider and the Fly, Colossus the Dragon, Wicked, Skyride Air Race, Terror Ride, which he preferred it to Dracula personally, Dracula's Castle, Roller Coaster, and the Carousel. Justin tips for this park. Anyone going to Lagoon, they have a really weird no single rider policy on many of their coasters and on individual rows, and it has only one single rider line, which is Wicked, although Cannibal might have it, he doesn't know, because it wasn't open. Lagoon has about 5 bathrooms in their entire park and none near the entrance. When he loves watching the show when it isn't freezing.
So another Justin tip, don't go to the front of the park if you have to go to the restroom.
Yes. To me, I tend to have this policy, and I do appreciate your trip report. I loved it. 2 parks I know very little about because I've never been out there. If I'm by myself in a park, I'm not going to ride a kiddie coaster. I don't care that I don't have the credit. I don't care this or that. Like, it's not worth it to me. I also won't ride any more boomerang coasters. I have retired from boomerang coasters, so if I don't have the credit, I'm not going to get it because I'm not subjecting myself to another boomerang coaster. I don't like them.
Hear, hear.
Agreed.
Even with the, you don't like the newer Vekoma restraints?
Nope.
No?
I hate them.
Hershey's got one. I like it. No?
No. I will never ride another boomerang again.
Same here. Or a Flying Dutchman.
Oh, whoa.
Them be fighting words. I love them Flying
Yeah,
Dutchmen.
I love those things.
Especially Firehawk at Kings Island. Like, that one's my favorite of the 3.
They're horrible.
I love them.
They need to burn.
So for anyone playing at home, do you guys remember how I tried this for the first time on the air a couple weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, "Oh, look at that face." Well, the girlfriend just had one, and she gave me this like face, and I could see her through the window, and she came outside and just plopped it down and left. So, yay, another beer.
Wicked looks like a badass ride, I've always thought.
A badass launched Eurofighter.
I was going to say, is it a launched Eurofighter? Is that...
It's a launched Eurofighter, even though it's made by Zaire.
That's why I asked. I have no idea.
I think it was a valid question.
We're gonna make it a thing. We're gonna make that a thing. I'm all for that.
Also,
all right. Well, thank.
Real quick, I was gonna say Cyclone at Lakeside. I always thought it looked like a great ride. I'd actually be most excited to go to Denver for that.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for the future of Illich Gardens, especially with the. How long has it been frozen on my face? I just realized my eye was clicked.
It's been going back and forth for the
Okay.
feed and me, so.
Yeah, but what I've seen on the YouTube page, it's been under for a while.
Oh.
He's
Sorry,
like,
guys.
show me.
See, that's why he's not in charge usually.
Well, Josh doesn't usually flop to anybody. I tend to, whoever's talking, I click it to, but then I get distracted and read the
Well,
chat.
if you let it go, it switches by itself.
Yeah, but then once somebody like does a bang or something, it like cuts the person off, briefly switches, and I don't know. All right, well, thank you, Justin, for your trip report. I think the most thing that's interesting here is, for one, that they don't allow single riders in the front or back row of their ride vehicles on trains. You can if you're a single rider, you got to sit in 2 through second to last row, which is
There's a
Which
reason
is
for that on some rides, though. Like
what
they
is-
don't. Some parks they don't want people riding in the back row by themselves. So if something happens, like say the person gives a little too much airtime and they fly off the ride, nobody would know. Hey, you just lost a guy out on the track.
Uh-huh.
So, or at least that's what I've seen in some parks. They require somebody else riding with you, so it's kind of an affirmation of somebody else is still here riding with me or not.
But I do not like the policy of the have to ride with a ride operator if you're by yourself on the ride that runs Whizzer style trains? Because man, that's awkward. Justin, one more thing I want you to answer: who was the inner of the leg squeeze? Like, did he wrap his legs around you, or did you wrap your legs around him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one I would prefer, though.
Especially on a ride called Whizzer.
Uh-huh.
But one thing that I thought was a little interesting from this trip report, and I'm not trying to get too into the legal logistics side, but I thought any place that sells food or any sort of alcohol has to actually give you beverage like water for free. They have to have some sort of cups. But any place that sells food, I think that's federal law.
I think they get around that by having a water fountain.
Yeah, but then they still have to offer cups at least.
Huh. Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll have to email them about that.
We need a lawyer. We need a lawyer on the show.
Yeah.
LegalZoom.com.
LegalZoom.com. But okay, so I get the back row thing, but why the front row? Why can't you put a single rider in the front row?
Because nobody wants to enjoy the ride by themselves.
Okay.
I have no clue on that one.
So Justin was the little spoon, and the operator locked the legs around him.
I have a single rider story from Kennywood.
You know, the Braden videos from there, I'm sure will be fantastic.
One thing that's pretty wacky about the Lagoon is if you are a single rider, you cannot sit in the front or the back row of any roller coaster.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I guess that's to get as many people on the most desired seats as possible?
I assume that's why the front row is, but the back row I guess has to do with if somebody falls out, the people in front of you would never know. That's what I've heard.
That's really odd.
Yeah, but
unless it's been a problem at your park, I don't see why that would be a thing.
So you have to be you can't be a single rider in the front or back rows of any of the roller coasters besides Wicked or Cannibal. So not really a big deal because most of your other roller coasters are whatever seat kind of coasters. Mm-hmm. And then one of their Schwarzkopfs, the one that runs Whizzer style trains, I don't know much about the park, so I couldn't tell you the name of it. They require you to have 2 guests per seat.
Huh.
So like how on Whizzer you could run 1 or 2, this one requires 2.
Ah, so you're definitely if you come to the park by yourself, you need to make a friend, and it's going to be an awkward friend.
Yeah.
Because those are cuddle seating, isn't it?
Yes. So here's my question for you: if you were sitting in the cuddle seating, would you want to be the inside or the outside with a complete stranger?
I guess I would be the big spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want. Yeah, I guess I'd be the big spoon.
Uh-huh.
Then you're more in control and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I think it would be really awkward is if you were the little spoon and the guy behind you started poking you with something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, maybe it's not worth the credit.
Yeah. Or he was like grabbing you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It'd be a good question for Kenny.
Yeah.
By the way, Kenny gave you some great Las Vegas advice. Actually, one great piece of Las Vegas advice and one terrible piece of Las Vegas advice. His good piece of advice was, do not buy any drugs from that guy, Doug. And his bad piece of advice, if you haven't been, you should check out Niagara Falls. It's not that far away, and it's really cool.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Aerial chase at Kings Island. It's kind of a inverted Vekoma family coaster. And then Jetstar. Holy crap. That thing's crazy. And I think all Jetstars are called Jetstar, aren't they? They're like that toboggan style roller coaster.
I don't know, but we have a Jetstar at Funland.
No, it is not that.
That
Jetstar.
is not.
Are you sure?
By the way, I think the one thing I'm looking forward to the most about going to your rehearsal dinner is I want to get all of us in the loop, guys, on the kiddie roller coaster and get a picture.
Well, we could only fit 4 adults on the on that, so that's a perfect amount, right?
Drew's got the brain of a child.
Well, you know what we'll
but yeah,
do? We'll get everybody on there. We'll just make Dan and Braden sit next to each other on it.
Oh yeah, they can hug.
All right, continue.
So Jetstar is one of those like I don't know if they're actually called toboggan roller coasters or what, but you sit like with a buddy, and there's like
Are you like in cuddle seating?
Yeah, cuddle seating. Yeah, there's like two people, and it's probably like 6 people per car. And that thing is wild. It has like the spiral lift, like the old spiral lift that goes up. It's pretty neat. But so one of the problems I ran into immediately was I was waiting for Cannibal, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ride something else because they were having issues with getting it going. So I went to go ride Jetstar, and it said no single riders, absolutely no exceptions. I'm like, what the heck is that? Maybe they'll make an exception. So I walk up, and of course, no. So,
maybe. I'm mildly popular on the internet. By the way,
I just asked like, what's the deal? There's no single rider because I've never seen this before, and they're like, no, sorry, there's no single rider. I'm like, great. So I'm gonna have to find a buddy to ride this. So I went and rode. They have an air race, which was super fun. I never actually got to ride one of those before. And then I went and rode Cannibal. But I found later all the coasters in the park. So this is for you solo adventurous. If you are single rider, you cannot ride in the front or the rear of any of the trained roller coasters. So Wicked, you're fine. Cannibal, you're fine. The Spider, you're fine. Wild Mouse, you're fine. But like Fire Dragon, Odyssey, what was it called? Bombora, any of those things, you cannot ride front seat. So someone who's trying to record POVs, this was a problem. So I ended up making buddies with one girl at the Colossus, the Fire Dragon. And so she saw that I was having problems getting in the front. So she sat with me there, and then the Wild Mouse, and then I ran into her later that day, and I was like, hey, I need to ride Jetstar. I couldn't ride Jetstar, period. I couldn't ride it in the middle. I couldn't ride it anywhere. You had to have somebody with you. So we rode Jetstar, which is funny to ride such a violent and cuddly roller coaster with a pretty much stranger. Yeah. That was pretty neat. Yeah, and then their flat ride collection's awesome. And they have a skyway that goes through the whole park, and it's like tons of trees in that park. There are tons of trees. Adam at Lagoon actually said, we don't cut down trees, we move trees. So the place is just covered in trees.